What if I told you that Google is giving away 10,000 US dollars in free advertising every single month through something called the Google Ad Grant to churches and charities like yours? But did you know that 87% of those organizations aren't utilizing it properly and leaving thousands of dollars on the table unused? Do you want to know the secrets to capturing every single cent of that free money and get your church or your nonprofit noticed on Google by more people? Welcome to the complete guide to the Google Ad Grant. What is the Google Ad Grant? Well, the Google Ad Grant forms of something called Google for Nonprofits. The Google Ad Grant is a gift from Google to you as an eligible nonprofit or church, where you get up to 329 US dollars per day to spend in free advertising, or up to 10,000 US dollars per month, month on month on month. And I've been helping churches and nonprofits over the years do this, spending up to hundreds of thousands of dollars year on year on year on year. And it's never stopped, and it's just helped their cause get noticed. It's an incredible gift. Why use the Google Ad Grant? That's a great question. Well, here's the thing. Most churches and most charities are buried deep within the Google jungle of search. You're buried on all the pages below page 1. And here's the thing. If you're not in the top 3 search results, that takes 90% of search traffic. So even if you're just below that fold and you're on page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to page 100, you only get to grab 10% of search traffic. And what the Google Ad Grant does, it takes you from page 50 to the top of page 1. And that means your church, your charity gets noticed by thousands more people who are searching for exactly the campaigns that you have set up. And therefore, you get found by more people. And that means you get more visitors to your church, you get more supporters for your charity who give, you get more volunteers to your charity who find out more about you, you get more givers who understand what your cause is all about. It's an incredible way for you to get noticed. You go from deep within the buried in the jungle to the top of the treetops, if you like, to get seen by more people. Because if you think about it, to use another metaphor, the Google search is like a superhighway, and there's thousands of cars passing where you are every single day. But the reality is that most churches and nonprofits don't have big beaming lights on their sign. And what the Google Ad Grant really, what it does, it highlights you on that Google superhighway to get you noticed by thousands of new visitors. Do you want to get more visitors? You have got to use the Google Ad Grant. What are the eligibility requirements for the Google Ad Grant? Well, the Google Ad Grant does come with some requirements before you can get it. Here's some key points about the eligibility. 1, you need to be a non-profit. In the US, that's a 501(c)(3). In the UK, you are a charitable entity. Same for Australia and New Zealand. Different organizations run those charitable entities. I think in the UK, it's called charitable status. In Australia, you need to be part of the ACNC. And in New Zealand, you need to be a charitable entity as well. You can't be a school or a healthcare organization. Your website must be up to date, and it needs to have an SSL secured certificate so it can be trusted. And if you want to find out if you are eligible, you can go to my website and you can check the free eligibility checker on my website to see if you are unsure, if you are eligible for that. I'll leave the link in the comments underneath this video. Well, what are the compliance requirements to maintain the Google Ad Grant? It's a great question, because the Ad Grant does come with some very strict compliance requirements. Firstly, you've got to maintain a 5% click-through rate on all of your campaigns across the whole account. That's very, very important. Google wants you to be very smart about the types of campaigns that you are using. And also you cannot use what we call single word keywords. So you can say church in, name of town, but you can't use the word church by itself, for example. You can't say charity by itself, but you could say counseling service or charity for dogs, lost dogs, something like that. So it has to be what we call a phrase, but not single word keywords. You must have at least 2 active ad groups in a campaign with at least 2 ads in that campaign. That is compliance as well. And you can't just set and forget it and leave it and never come back. You must log in every 30 days into the account, but you also must be making changes inside the account every 90 days. You see, your Google ad grant is like a garden. If you don't tend to it, if you don't care for it, eventually those campaigns will disintegrate and your ad grant will be suspended. So a good gardener keeps the garden in good shape. What that means is that you actually reach more people. My organization can help you do that and do it all for you because it's a very complicated and sophisticated advertising software. And again, some certain topics are also prohibited. Things like pornography, drugs, addiction, and mental health. Those are some of those policy exclusions that you can't use the Google ad grant for. But again, that compliance is there for a reason. Overall, they want you to use it for all of the right reasons. What's the best way to set up the account and optimize your Google Ads account and the strategy? Well, first of all, you've got to install and connect your Google Analytics account to your Google Ad Grant account. That's part of the compliance that you need to do. And it's good because then you can actually track what is coming from your Google Ad Grant account through your Google Analytics account. You also obviously need to have a campaign, which is your main campaign with multiple ad groups in there, multiple ads. And again, you can have more campaigns and maximize that $329 US a day in free ads. You probably will never do it with one campaign alone. You need to organize your ad groups and your ads targeting specific pages on your website. So for example, if you're a church and you want to be found as a church, maybe your church in the name of your town, it's best to have a landing page that is about your church and maybe mentions your town as well, because Google checks the quality of the ad matching the quality of the time when that person's on the website. And they call that a quality score. And both on the ad and on the page, they rank you with a quality score. So it's really, really important that you do that. To start off with every campaign, we recommend you use something called a broad keyword match. There's 3 types of keywords that you can use. Broad keyword match, phrase match, and exact match. Just too complicated, don't worry about it. We do all of this hard work for you. So again, if you want to know how you're eligible or not, you can use our free eligibility checker to find out more. You can also think about extra hard about those landing pages that you're taking them to, because those people that are visiting your website had never heard of you before, don't know anything about you. So you want to look at it through the eyes of a first-time visitor. If you're a charity, it's exactly the same thing. If someone's searching for Lost Dogs Home, and let's say you come up there in the first 3 search results because you're using the Google Ad Grant, you want to really establish trust, and you want to put a lot of thought into that landing page, and you want them to contact you and to call you and to visit you. So you've got to have all that relevant information on that page. Very, very important. You need very clear calls to action. You also need what we call conversion tracking, which is something that we set up for you in your Google Ads account and on Google Analytics. That sends signals back to Google to measure your performance, and it helps speed up the velocity of how much money Google spends in your ad grant. So how do you spend the $10,000 per month? Well, the reality is for most of you, you will never be able to spend that $10,000 per month and up to $120,000 US per year It is incredible. It's true. I've worked with many, many churches and many, many nonprofits, and we've been able to achieve that for them. It's very, very challenging because you need to be an expert in using the Google Ads engine really to get the most out of it. I am a certified Google Ads professional, and I'm also a Google partner, and I'm used by Google to do this all the time for churches and charities and nonprofits all the time. So I want to highly encourage you to reach out to someone like me, or you can test drive me and my team to be able to use and get the most out of the Google Ad Grant. Because the likelihood is if you don't, one, you'll probably only end up spending maybe even just $100 a month. But two, you're more likely to get the Google Ad Grant suspended. And then it's a very, very complicated process to retrieve and reactivate the Google Ad Grant. So what are you waiting for? Check on the eligibility tracker below, the links just below the video here, and I'll see you on the other side. And if you want, I'll also put my email below and you can contact me directly to find out more.